Hello friends, and welcome back to my walkthrough for achieving an S rank on No Hope difficulty in every chapter of Jake's campaign in Resident Evil 6. Today we are taking on Chapter 2, which starts out with us retrieving FOS drives on a snowy mountain. This section on the mountain is without a doubt the worst part of Resident Evil 6, in my opinion. I have no idea who thought running around in low visibility, being harassed by waves upon waves of infinitely spawning Joavo was fun or interesting, but it really stinks. There's just nothing enjoyable about going through this part of the game for me. What makes it actively annoying rather than merely boring is the fact that you will be hounded by sniper rifle Joavo that can lock onto you from really far away, and there's almost nowhere to hide from them. If you see the red laser sight on you, all you can really do is run around and hope that the shot misses you, really. And to add insult to injury, if you get shot on one of the big ice slopes, you will fall down and slide all the way to the bottom. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the blizzard will pick up periodically and severely limit your field of vision for a few seconds, which makes you even more of a sitting duck for sniper rifle and machine gun Joavo. So yeah, this section is pretty bad, but apparently not everyone thought so, because From Software use a very similar gimmick for their Dark Souls 2 DLC just a couple years later. So it's nice that someone out there liked it, I guess. There really isn't a ton to talk about strategy-wise here. You're really just running around collecting 3 FOS drives, and like I mentioned before, the Joavo do actually spawn infinitely here, so you don't want to stick around waiting for more of them to show up. Just kill the ones that engage you and move on. Sniper Joavo take the highest priority, followed by machine gun and obviously melee. You're gonna see me use Jake's long-range charge attack for the first time here. This move is incredibly useful. In fact, it's arguably a better long-range option than a gun in many situations. To use it, just hold down L2 and then hold down R2. Jake will get into a crouched stance and target an enemy in front of him, which will be indicated by a red marker above their head. You can switch enemy Jake targets with the right stick. When you release R2, Jake will charge towards the enemy and land a very powerful punch. This punch will stun or knock down an enemy in just about every instance, leaving them vulnerable for follow-up attacks. Not only that, you can actually evade gunfire while you're charging towards them by moving the right stick to the right or left. You're going to see me use this attack many times because it is oftentimes the safest option. The charge attack really is a viable choice in most combat situations, so there's really not a lot of reason to not use it often.
doesn't look broken. Okay, one more to go. I bet you'll be a real pain in the ass to find.
After you pick up the third FOS drive, a couple of flying enemies will spawn outside this cabin. In case you didn't know, a flash grenade will kill these things instantly, so there's no need to waste time and ammo shooting them down. When you come back to the bridge, shoot the posts holding the bridge in place to knock it down. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually drop down here to get back down the mountain safely and quickly. As an added bonus, there is a red herb as well as a green herb that you can grab as you're sliding down, so it's really the ideal way to go if you ask me. Now we have a short cabin siege section that is sort of like a low-rent version of the gun shop siege in Leon's campaign, which is itself an inferior knockoff of the cottage siege in Resident Evil 4. Capcom just keeps trying to recreate the magic with these sections, most recently in the hospital in the RE3 remake, and they just never seem to hit the mark. Anyway, this part is fairly straightforward. Just try your best to keep the enemies from crawling in the window by shooting at them before they can get to it. At a certain point, 3 Juavo will drop down in the corner of the cabin, which would be a convenient time to drop a remote bomb. The Juavo will soon blow a hole through the cabin wall, at which point you need to run out and hop on the snowmobile.
It's an avalanche! Let's get out of here!
I told them to keep the noise down.
This snowmobile section really sucks. It's very easy to fail it and die by crashing into a tree or falling into a crevasse, which is a really unfortunate thing to have happen if you're trying to do a deathless run. The best thing you can do is to stay right on Sherry's tail and follow her movements as best you can, especially when the ground starts breaking apart around you. It can be difficult to know which way to turn, so following Sherry's lead is a safe option. Don't fall too far behind though, because the avalanche will catch up to you and kill you immediately.
Keep your speed up! I don't want to be buried out here! This is not a good idea!
Too late now! Jump! Are you okay?
Don't worry about me. I'm built like a tank.
Fine, I won't. Let's go.
Wow. Nice acoustics.
Watch your step.
I wonder how deep this mine goes.
Jesus Christ. What does it take to kill that thing?
I think he's using those bugs to sniff us out. Be careful.
Here we have a stealth section involving these bats, which alert Usenik to your presence if they see you. They're pretty easy to avoid because their range of detection is pretty small. The best way to deal with them is to wait until they're facing away from you, run up to them, and smack them to the ground as soon as you see the R2 prompt. There really isn't more to it than that. Just keep an eye on the ground beneath them to make sure you don't disturb their aura while they're facing you. After all the bats are dead, go through the door and prepare for a short escape section.
Roger.
Seriously? Jeez, this guy doesn't miss a beat.
Sure can move fast between that size.
Make sure you're constantly sprinting here and be ready to execute an L2 slide to escape from Ustinik. The camera angle is really awkward, and in my experience it's pretty easy to misjudge the distance between your character and the hole you need to slide through, so I recommend sliding slightly earlier than you think you need to, just so you don't get held up and killed by Ustinik here.
We can't go anywhere without that key.
Then let's go get it.
After lifting Sherry on top of the wall, go to the other side of the room and collect the remote bombs. Place one in this area and move to the opposite side of the room and explode it to lure Ustinik away long enough for Sherry to retrieve the keycard. After that, complete the QTE sequence and finish the chapter.
What do you think of that, sucker?
Quiet, he'll hear you.
Christ, he's like a sales rep that won't take no for an answer.
Think this'll stop him?
This is gonna be fun. Not so tough now, are you?
Got him now!
Is that the exit?
Yeah.
Just barely.
Alright, we did it. We made it through the most annoying chapter in this game with an S rank. As you can see, I just barely made the accuracy requirement by getting a 70.0% on the dot. Looks like all my very bad shooting in the cabin section nearly cost me this run and made me do that very painful mountain section all over again. Thankfully, I won't have to do that, and now I can move on to what is easily my favorite part of Jake's campaign, Chapter 3. I hope you'll join me for that video, and until then, I will see you guys later.